to be invited into this energy. So thank you very much. Much love to you and all your supporters. And yes, I try to stay, as you know, I try to stay out of the shadow side of my ego as much as possible. So I will just take all of those acknowledgments and say, I'm allowing the universe to use me to do its bidding.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. And it's a big mission you're on. And I know I would love to just jump in. It's been, I think this week you got taken off of YouTube. Is that true? Or was it this week or last week or something like this?
Yeah, it was about 3 days ago, I believe.
Okay. And so just would love to hear where you're at with all the censorship and what you're doing about it and your take on it. And so let's start there.
This is the exclusive right now. This is the first time I've actually talked about my YouTube channel being taken down. So I'll give you some exclusive sentimental feelings that I have about that, right?
Yeah.
The reason I'm upset about my YouTube being taken down is people don't know the work that went into that channel. YouTube hasn't paid me in like 2-3 years. So I was on there for free, literally just out of the love of awakening people.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about the money. For me, to give you a little bit of my background, it's kind of not a secret. I went to prison, like an open secret, right?
Yeah.
When I got out, I just started this on my own. And I told myself, once I got to like 30,000 followers, I started actually doing public speaking engagements. I stopped because of COVID, but I normally throw lectures.
Yeah.
And my first lecture, I snuck out of my city on parole, no permission. I'm not on parole anymore, so I can say that.
Yeah.
I snuck. And I told myself, I said, well, if you go, because really at the time in my mind, I was expecting to violate because everybody just violates. Like they violate people just for quotas.
Right.
So
you
don't really have to do anything to get violated.
Yeah.
So I was telling myself, if you're going to go back to prison, go back for a righteous reason.
Yeah. Yep.
So I put a lecture together, and it was my first lecture ever I did ever. It was in South Carolina. And like 240 something people came out. And that was the start of Young Pharaoh. And so I say that to say, I literally put my freedom on the line to educate people.
Yeah.
Before I was who I was. And that is how I started my career. Sneaking. I don't want to say how I was doing it because I don't want to mess the game up for nobody else.
Yeah.
But I was sneaking out of my county to literally educate people.
Right.
I spent so many sleepless nights, and so many hours, losing weight, getting acne, breaking out to try to put information on the channel that I believe would save somebody's life because it saved my life, literally.
Yeah.
And I feel like YouTube, y'all know how I feel about YouTube. I'm gonna enjoy this beautiful, blissful energy on this platform, but y'all know if I was on my platform, I would have some more colorful words for YouTube.
Oh, come on. Please do not hold back. We want it all.
Okay, well, with its controllers and its puppeteers, okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like they did the intelligence community a huge disfavor, and I feel like YouTube showed us that they are the enemy by taking my channel down. And I'm not saying that from a standpoint of worship me like I'm an idol. I'm saying that from a standpoint of look at what they're taking down and look at what they're leaving up.
Yeah.
I fit the stereotype of the guy with the jewelry and the dreads and the tattoos. The only stereotype I don't fit is I'm not toxic. I don't promote crazy stuff.
Right.
I don't promote, the bull crap. I see through racism, even though I know it exists. if you're racist, I'm gonna call you out. If you're not, I'm gonna tell people, you out of pocket. So since I'm not basically a demonic puppet or someone who can be engineered for a satanic agenda, my channel is gone. And so what I want people to realize is you can literally risk your life to help other people, and you can literally risk your freedom to help other people. But if the authority figure is not a righteous figure, then all of your actions will be in vain. And I'm not saying that mine were in vain, but I want people to realize the predicament we're in. We live in a world where It doesn't matter how much good you do. It doesn't matter how nice of a person you are. And it doesn't matter how positive you try to stay. The only thing that matters is the environment being set to keep that tone alive,
Right.
or is the environment being set to kill that tone? So a plant will always be a plant, but a plant can't grow to its fullest capacity if it's taken out of where it's supposed to grow and put in an environment where it's being interacted with in the opposite manner according to its nature. So I want everybody to look at my YouTube channel and look at my YouTube channel as the fork in the road. Either we are going to start creating platforms for positivity to exist, or we are going to continue to promote our own destruction. And I wanted to say that. And my actions with YouTube are the same. I have a current lawsuit pending with YouTube right now where the lawyer, and I don't want anybody to think I'm attacking anybody when I say this word, Jewish, okay? But the lawyer, the judge is a Jew. I have to say that. She's a Jew. And she doesn't really like me. I don't really care, but I want to say that. So I'm suing YouTube. They're trying to hit me with the anti-Semitic bull crap. My judge is coincidentally a Jew, and that is the predicament that I'm in. But that's my update with YouTube. So I'm battling YouTube out. I'm gonna definitely slap this in there on the lawsuit, and we're gonna go for broke. So,
I mean, it's my opinion, just being in the kind of creation of a new, the new world of Internet 3.0 or whatever, wherever we're going with the new way to. It's my opinion that these types of crossroads that are happening for so many great thinkers, yourself included, are really a catalyst moment for what has to be built on top of this old dying kind of cesspool. What think? I mean, where, what are you creating? Where are you going to bring your content? Like, what's happening? I know you have a plan because we have the same birthday, so I know you have a plan.
That's right. Let's just get all the way high science right now.
Yeah.
The plan is to restore the mind. That's the plan. So, here's where I'm going with this. The disadvantage that a Buddhist monk has is that they don't pay attention to the world.
Right.
But the advantage that they also have is that they do pay attention to the world. So me, I'm kind of in both worlds. I'm paying attention, but then I'm not. So I'm in space, but then I'm in physical reality. Right. So the point is to create platforms that show people the power of duality, but actually show them the front of the veil and the back of the veil. For example, right now I'm getting ready to roll out, probably within the next, I want to say 90 days maybe. These things take time. For those of you who don't know, it takes time to build an app from scratch. But I'm rolling out my own social media app called Auden Loop. And one of the features on Auden Loop is called Auden Energy. So make a post, but instead of saying you made a post, it'll say you sent the vote. And then instead of saying you got a like, it'll say you got energy. Yeah. So if you got 30,000 likes, it'll say you got 30,000 pieces of energy. Instead of getting reposted, it'll say you got charged. Now, not only will you be on an app that has no algorithm, no censorship, none of that, all followers is yours. If you get 1 million followers in your content. So not only will you get the chance to become an actual independent content creator, subconsciously you'll be reprogramming yourself to think along the lines of energy. Yeah. So I'm looking to do is the same thing that the enemy does, but against them. Reverse psychology them. So they like to reverse psychology us and take bad things and make it appear as good. So I'm going to take social media, since everybody's addicted to technology and we know the dopamine release and the chemical chemistry behind this whole thing. We take that and then we get people addicted to ascending again. So you can have fun, you can get on the app, but the app itself will not let you be an idiot. Pretty much. Yeah. So that's where I'm going. So social media app on the way, an iTunes app on the way, the banking system on the way. I actually started my own news network so we can report real news. And that application will be on the way after. And we're just going to bulldoze these people. Yeah. So I feel like everybody has to fight at their level. Yeah. I'm not saying I am an elite, but I think I could take on the elites.
Yeah.
And I think that a person who lives amongst the everyday people and have lived amongst the bottom dwellers of the people should be the one to go up there and let them know how we feel. And I think that I think that the general public should pay attention to the power of being their self. And I say that to say this: spirituality, as you most likely know, is your inner spirituality.
Yeah.
Your inner spiral is the direction that your soul flows, up your spine into your pineal gland. So to give people the science of Kundalini energy and give you the actual science, because I'm spiritual, but I've realized painfully through the years that some people have such a spiritual disconnection with themselves. You got to give them the literature in order for them to believe what they already feel, but still don't trust their own intuition.
Right.
So here's how this works. We have a pool of static electricity located in at our first vertebrae. And this static electricity circumnavigates itself up our spine. Hopefully you have proper spine structure and proper spine alignment, and it can make it all the way to your pineal gland. And your spine and your vertebrae are considered resistors. So anybody who studies electricity, or you're an electrician, you know what a resistor is.
Yeah.
So your spinal column acts as a resistor. This resistor helps to guide the electrical interval of your Kundalini energy or your serpentine energy up your spine. This energy, once it hits the 33rd vertebrae, hence Freemasonry stops at 33 degrees. It leaves that 33rd vertebrae. It goes into the third ventricle of your spine. I mean, your brain, your third and your fourth ventricle are separated by a door that we call the pineal gland.
Yeah.
So you have a liquid in that third ventricle that once that Kundalini energy pushes that door, the liquid literally glazes your brain, and it actually puts your brain to what is called the delta. And the delta state is a state that you channel in, aka you have dreams when you go to sleep. And so
or when you meditate, or when you meditate.
And when you that's right, or when you
Yep.
meditate.
Yep.
And so all of these factors scientifically prove the ability for, let's say, humanoid organisms to transcend consciousness and psychologically guide their mind to different dimensions. Remember, a dimension is just an alternate perspective. A three-dimensional shape is technically a two-dimensional shape, just looking at it from another angle.
Right.
So I'm kind of giving you guys some Jews right now. I hope you get them. But with that being said, yes, all of these aspects of yourself make you powerful. And I think people don't take into consideration the creator. Whatever you believe, whatever religion you believe, I don't really care. But whatever creator you believe, we can acknowledge that if nothing else, they gave you free will. And you have to ask yourself, why would the creator give me free will? How do I use free will? Well, the only way you can use free will is what it's like. The hammer is useless without the nail. Free will is the nail, the mind is the hammer. So without us using our minds, without us thinking for ourselves, without us becoming more aware of ourselves and then developing intelligence on different octaves or levels of awareness, we are literally disobeying our own power. We're literally disobeying our own power.
Yeah.
So I want people to realize, growing up trying to be anything other than yourself is literally you canceling out power. And I'm a pass the mic back to this beautiful woman right here, because I know a lot of people watching this right now, and you might be lost, and you might say, well, how do I find myself? Who you were as a child is who you truly are, because a child is not even aware that they're being influenced. So the personality of an adult when they were in their childlike state is who they were meant to become. But depending upon if a Satanist got a hold of you, or you grew up in an environment like me, your spirit might not have survived childhood.
Right.
So this is where meditation comes in. This is where self-reflection comes in. And you have to act like your own paramedic and go in your own past and revive your own child and revive your child self and fall in love with that person again and allow that person to become the adult they were supposed to become. And so your truest self is the self you were born as. You when you were 5 years old, it wasn't on your mind to be on OnlyFans. It wasn't on your mind to be a gangbanger. It wasn't on your mind to be what that stuff got on your mind. But what was already on your mind, what you were already thinking, what you already enjoyed, that is the essence and the fabric of your soul. And that is the part of yourself that you need to genuinely love. And we are that part of us, for the most part, as a human totality of collective consciousness, 9 times out of 10 is locked behind fear. A lot of people are afraid to be themselves because it's not trending or it's not cool. Or you might just be in a situation like I was, where you just get punished because nobody wants you to be smarter than them.
Right.
So I wanted to say, that right now, the most powerful thing you can ever be is yourself. We can't copy or try to duplicate fingerprints or DNA. It is what it is. Your personality is just as powerful as your fingerprint. And we should start branding things with our personality. We should start just like you do. Bring your personality to your platform and let alike attract, and let people who feel like you feel attract, and use the natural energies that the creator gave us to build a greater energy. And I wanted to get that out there.
Beautiful. Thank you for saying that and reminding people and being an example of that. I'm curious, I really believe that all the greatest people that I know are people who have gone to jail. And I'm curious, in your situation, do you feel like that was kind of, were you because of your power? Do you think that there was a bigger reason, not just spiritually, but otherwise, that you were put behind bars?
Yes, ma'am. I know this to be a fact. And the way that I know it to be a fact is not only because of my natal chart, which I learned how to do in jail on my own, but I found peace in solitary confinement. And I found peace when my spirit okayed me that this is where I was supposed to be. And I want to say this. How do you collect your power? Accountability. Just like how do we collect money? An accountant, accountability. So taking that understanding and bringing it to the spiritual world, you got to account for everything you do. And I had to sit in a cell one day and tell myself, okay, if I'm God, which is generator, organizer, dispenser of their own reality, if I'm the one controlling my life, what the hell did I do to be in here? So I had to accept that. And I had to tell myself, okay, no matter if I'm getting railroaded or not, even though I didn't commit the crime, even if I'm innocent or not, I still did something to put myself in this very moment. And once I got to the bottom of that and I was able to untangle, the sea of emotions that we swim through and get to the fabric of it, all of the I just want people to know what I was able to transform. Imagine being in jail for something you didn't do. My father passed away. I was kind of in the streets, so I was having I was having a confrontational time, and my anger level was at like 1,000. 1,000. I was in a rage every day, in a rageful state. And I was literally able to transcend all that and just be like, I'm happy now. And you probably would think I'm crazy, but I was like, I'm happy now. And I came into the nirvana and I came into enlightenment in solitary confinement.
Right.
And it was through the understanding of, I'm responsible for myself. I'm doing this. And as crazy as this damn situation is, people in here getting cut, stabbed, all kind of crazy stuff. I'm happy. I'm at peace. And it was through this understanding. And then I took that and I was able to realize the power of controlling yourself. Because the way that I used to be was what somebody would call a bug out. A bug out in slang terms is somebody who, we will burn the house down if you don't want to come out. Right. So, I spent a lot of time getting in trouble. And I wouldn't say, I wasn't bad. I wasn't starting things. But I just wasn't wise enough to know when I was being provoked to play myself. Right. If that makes sense. So I wasn't wise enough to know this person is being an asshole on purpose. This person is trying to do something on purpose because they know they're going to get a reaction out of me. And after they get that reaction, I'm going to feel like I'm one up. But really, I'm going to put myself in a position that I don't want to be in. They want me in. So once I got wise and hip to that, and I started still feeling what I felt and feeling it at that level of intensity, but telling myself, you know, you're basically a Buddhist monk now. You choose what you react to.
Right.
I was able to channel that intensity into my mind and control my own mind and control my own reality. And I think people should realize that emotions, E is the energy, motion is motion. Emotions is energy in motion. It's vibrational chemistry. It's like a bunch of colors mixing and matching inside of you. And once you learn how to think within a state of emotion without reacting, you can respond but not react. And I think people need to actually understand the difference between a reaction and a response.
Right.
But once you learn how to think within stress, you unlock a different octave of your mind that I can't really explain to a person. They kind of have to experience it.
Yeah.
So for me, in prison, I feel prison built me to be able to do what I'm doing now, because a lot of people look at me and they say, you know, aren't you scared for your life? And what about, this? And to me, I'm like, well, I've just spent 3.5 years where I could have been stabbed any day.
Right.
Or,
right.
you can't threaten me to put, I go to the box. So people say, aren't you afraid of getting arrested? No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not. So I feel like prison showed me hell. I believe jail is hell. I even think that's why they make you wear orange.
Yeah.
And when I went to state, I don't know about nobody else's prison, but I went to a prison called Elmira, and they actually have a giant Satan head on the door.
Right.
And when you come in, it say inmates and the hands is on fire and cuffs. And for COs, it say demons. So now looking at it now, I realize, oh, these are probably Satanists.
Yeah.
But then as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, I was just like, what the hell is this place? So by my mind actually walking through probably the most difficult environment I've ever had to survive in, and then being where I am now, it's like I'm prepared to show people how to evolve themselves without reacting, because most people that I talk to, whatever is stressing them out, I have enough life experience to show them it's not that serious.
Yeah.
You can be in a worse place. There is somebody doing worse than you. And that's not to negate the magnitude of the problem to the individual, but I just want to serve people as a reminder to say, your problems are hard for you. Yes. But remember, you're probably doing addition when we have trigonometry level problems that are even more difficult.
Right.
So let's not get everybody caught up on the fact that you're having a hard time with 5 times 5 when there's people trying to do frequency over time equals what? Or, and put together universal formulas.
Right.
So I believe prison prepared me to not only unify my mind and my body as one, but it prepared me to control the way that I feel as I walk through an even worse reality. So I thought prison was crazy, and then I found out all of the politicians is raping kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I found out that the world is not what I believe it to be, and I think that was heartbreaking for me. And I don't think a lot of people really realize that. For me to come out and think, where my mentality was, I felt like I grew up in the ghetto, and I went to prison. I've been going to jail since I was 16.
Right.
So to me, I felt like where I grew up at is a horrible place. And let me come into the world, and no disrespect, but I'm not really used to being around white people unless I'm in court.
Yeah.
So when white people, I Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jolly. Yeah. I'm like, the world it's a nice.
Right.
And I stepped into the world, and I was like, damn, prison was better than the world. As crazy as that sounds. People are more respectful in prison than they are just walking around Los Angeles. People are more respectful in prison or in the projects than they are just walking around corporate America. So I realized, damn, y'all got murderers, y'all got people, some of the most wisest people, some of the most disciplined people I've ever met in my life. They've been in jail for murder. I met them in jail. I didn't know them, but I met them in jail. They probably in there for murder or something violent. In the mainstream media would paint these people as the most dangerous people.
Right.
But little we know, Hollywood is the most threatening place in the world. And so me, it was a testing stage.
Yeah.
I was able to accept the fact that all I can do is control my individual reality. And if I cannot control my environment, then I can control how I behave in my environment. That's what prison taught me. And then prison also showed me how to accept what I think is the worst conditions and make the best out of it for myself. And then leaving prison and then realizing that I'm blindly walking into an even worse position.
Yeah.
I was already trained to go. I was already able to say, oh, okay, this is getting crazy. Let me control myself, pick and choose who I deal with, keep my frequency, and boom. So prison basically gave me and I don't want anybody to go to prison, thinking you're going to learn this stuff. So don't listen to me and be like, I want to go to prison. No. But what I'm saying is prison, if I would have never went to prison, I would never be able to have the backbone I have today.
Yeah.
I would never be able to look people in their eyes and see exactly what type of person I'm dealing with out the gate. My intuition would not be as strong, and my ability to control myself under any pressure would not be as strong. And I would not be able to sufficiently and successfully do what I do if I went to prison. And I'm in here. Even my lawsuits against big tech. And a lot of people might look at that like, you're suing mainstream media. That must be hard. Or you're talking about Hillary Clinton. That must be hard. But I remember being in a room where nobody knew, where the police could kill you in this room and nobody would know. It's a graveyard in the back of the jail. You'll be in there. And I remember still fighting for myself, still defending myself, still writing grievances, still, I'm not going to use the language, but using vulgar language when I'm not getting treated right, when I'm not getting fed, when, just basic human. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm just asking to take a shower. Jesus. So by me having to defend myself and be all that I had, literally with my life on the line, it made everything I'm doing today a breeze. Like, this is easy. I wish I would have did this years ago.
Well, I just, I have this thing, I have a opinion that just like they pick some of the MK Ultra kids, they're kind of handpicked and for different sorts of reasons. I've also seen some of the people that I know who were put in jail for different reasons. It's a similar agenda. I was curious if you kind of yeah.
I now realize, and you're very wise, to detect that. I hope people actually caught that, because that's very important.
Yeah.
I actually realize now through abuse what people seen in me that I didn't see in myself. And I realized this through meditation. And I feel like, for example, right, I was always really good at football. I tell people this all the time. Nobody believes me, but I was really, I probably could have literally went to the NFL.
Yeah.
And for example, I would, when I played Little League, coaches would do things like, your son is the running back, but I'm smashing your son every time, smashing him. So they would do things like make me go and play tackle or do tackle alley with somebody that clearly you see this person is 10 times my size.
Right.
And they would put me through obstacles that I can't come out on. But my confidence is so high and my bravery is so high. Yeah. I'm an ignorant be like, let's go.
Yeah.
And I'm a smash, but I didn't realize that the people that were in power was trying to use me against myself and make me kill my own confidence. Same thing with prison. When I went to prison, I was putting in motions pro se. I was going to the law library, filling out my own motions. I was coming to court with case law, but I didn't realize that they were looking at me like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize they were looking at me as, this person thinks to himself, and that means he's potentially a threat.
Right.
So break him and destroy him.
Right.
So all of the times I got called for court and I never had court, all of the times we call that bullpen therapy, by the way.
Right.
All the times I had bullpen therapy, all of the times I was basically just, sitting in cold rooms with the air conditioning on, waiting to get called. Then my dates get canceled, dates getting postponed. I was just assuming, like anybody else, well, it happens sometimes. As stupid as that sounds. I didn't realize that this was psychological warfare and somebody was trying to wear my mind down.
Yes.
And so people have to realize that the intelligent people with good hearts have the hardest times in this world because we're sadly not the ones in a position of power. And the people that are in positions of power are looking at us and they're saying, kill that person's energy. Literally, kill that person's energy, kill their confidence, kill their ability to critically think. And you do this by setting them up against themselves.
Yeah.
And I want people to realize that. And I want people to know that a lot of the times you were right. You know, you were actually right. Somebody probably just tricked you into doubting yourself. And we need to actually recall all of our most low moments in life. The moments where, you know, I'm not in y'all lives, but y'all know things y'all went through where y'all felt low, whatever that may be. Call your lowest moment, recall your lowest moments, and don't be delusional. Be realistic and ask yourself, damn, you know, was I right? Did I get tricked? Did the teacher just not like me? You know, did that person just want to give me an F? And we need to, you know, that's how you go and you recollect the parts of yourself that are most powerful, because you are powerful, but I can trick you into believing you are weak by matching your power.
Right.
And taking you out of your realm. You might be a 10 and you're supposed to become a 50, but at the time you was a 10, I put you against a 30 and told you was weak, when really everybody in your range was 3s while you was a 10. So this is how we have to recall our entire lives. I don't care if you're 10, 15, 20, 30, 50. Recall your entire life. Look at where you went wrong. See if you actually were wrong, and go back and get that ability and start that ability again.
I mean, that's a shamanistic practice. I mean, that's basically what Don Juan taught Carlos Castaneda. It's, you can go back in the timeline and reclaim power, and I mean, that's basically what the shaman does. The pharaoh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you see me right now. You're
Yes.
seeing me right now.
I see
Yeah,
it.
you gotta go. You gotta recall and reclaim that power, and your power lies in your memory. Like a lot of people, they might say, Pharaoh, you know, why do you act like that? Not saying I act uncivilized, but my personality is high value.
Yeah.
Right. And it's because I know where my power is. I remember all of my most powerful moments in life. Without me going through them one by one on this interview, I remember every moment in life where I didn't just feel powerful, I knew I was powerful. Whether it was football, whether I was on defense and I was able to read the line of script. Like if y'all think I'm smart now, imagine me the captain of a football team. I'm calling everything. That's a blitz. That's that.
Right,
And I
right.
remember those moments. I remember in school, I used to raise my hand first. And I stopped doing that because I remember people started making me feel like I was a nerd.
Right.
But I remember when I did. So, and I remember when I was for example, in 8th grade, I went on a field trip to Disney World. At the time, I didn't know it was what it is, a satanic place. When I was in 8th grade, I won a field trip to Disney World because my grades were so high. I was on a principal leadership council. But I remember those times, and I go back through every time in my life where I was fast, where I was strong, where I was at my strongest, and where I was at my smartest. And you take those memories and you combine them, and you become a new memory. It's like a computer.
Yeah.
You know, your brain is a computer. You take all your greatest memories, your most powerful moments, and you put them together to become your most powerful self. And like, for example, in prison, nobody wanted to work out with me. And I know that a lot of y'all not gonna believe this, but that's fine. Nobody wanted to work out with me. I was doing 400 push-ups straight without stopping. I was doing 1,200 squats. I was doing 2-finger push-ups, 1-hand push-ups, and meditating every day. Like literally, I would have tried Bruce Lee in prison.
Yeah.
I would have tried him. I would have tried him.
Yeah.
And I know people, I would have tried Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
400 push-ups straight. Crazy. Yeah. My neck was crazy. I was way bigger than this.
Yeah.
And I remember that. And I remember how powerful I felt. I remember my strength. I remember intimidating the police. I remember having to be shackled like this walking because you know I could put my hands on you just as much as you could put your hands on me. And I take all of these memories, keep them righteous, of course.
Yeah.
And I use them as as a sign of where to go now in my life. So now I got a surprise. I won't drop that surprise yet, but I'm creating a meditation chamber in my house, a crystal grid in my house. I'm getting my weight back up. I'm 171 now. I came all the way back up from 147.
Wow.
And so yeah, so my goal is 185, and then after 185, depending on how that look, I'm gonna go for 200. So I'm just turning myself. I'm taking all my most powerful moments, bringing back my athleticism, bringing back my intellect, my confidence. Never really went too far, but bringing back my full peak of confidence. I remember when I was I've always been a class clown. I went to high school with a girl that I went to third grade with, and the first thing she said to me in high school was, "You still think you're a comedian, don't you?" And that I've always had this personality. So I'm just recalling all of the parts about myself that are not only powerful, but that I genuinely love about myself.
Yeah.
And you hold on to that self, create a new version of that self, and you walk around with that self. And that is how you self-actualize. And a lot of people cheat themselves out of actually grabbing the vigor in their own spirit because they're trying to become something that doesn't exist, like a rapper or a gangbanger or something stupid. And it's like that's like trying to become a janitor. No disrespect to janitors, but a janitor is not a spiritual form. It's an occupation. It's not something that you can, slap on the table and be like, I'm new today. I have a power today. It's not a an esoteric skill you can acquire.
Right.
So I just want people through me to say there is no excuse why I can't do it. If they don't listen to you, which I would recommend you do, but if they don't listen to you, if they don't listen to me, if they don't ever read a self-help book, if they don't ever believe in anything, I just want my life to be testimony of how you can go from I've been shot, I've been homeless, I've been arrested, I've been jumped, I've been whatever you can think of. I've been